All right, Shalom. All praise, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bahashem Harakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that strive for salvation during these electrifying and exciting times. To the sincere sisters that's starting to tune in and the Most High is giving you a spirit to follow this truth, I say shalom to you too. And to the Israelite foreigners out there that scattered across the four corners of the earth, that's don't resemble the natural appearance of what a Hebrew Israelite may look like, but they may look like the other nations that they are being scattered, amongst. And but they seed line goes back to one of the 12 tribes, and they understand this truth, and they're sincere. I say shalom to you as well. And so I just want to do a quick video regarding, this this uh this hell day, this wicked pagan holiday that's being worshipped and celebrated all across the world, known as Thanksgiving. Most people don't know the true origins and what really took place about that. If you would really like to know, just go on YouTube and just type in the truth about Thanksgiving, and a number of videos will pop up and give you, insight on what really was taking place. But that's about a day that if you're a Hebrew Israelite, that you should be celebrating and worshiping on those days. On that day or any other pagan holiday. But it's primarily speaking of Thanksgiving, that was a day when our brothers and sisters from the Northern Kingdom, primarily the Gadites, the so-called North American Indians, and also you had the Seminole Indians out there that was in the Americas at the time that got slaughtered by the Pilgrims, the colonizers that came over and ended up colonizing this land. And it was a day that they made treaties, but they turned around, and broke those treaties and slaughtered our people. Those are our people, the Gadites and Reubenites. So if you're a Hebrew Israelite and you're a member of that one of those tribes, you shouldn't be honoring this day with a celebration because it was a day of a genocide of your people. And if you're a Hebrew Israelite from any other tribe, those are our people, those are our brethren. So you shouldn't partake in that as well. You don't if you live in a neighborhood that's a gang infested neighborhood, and your brother lives down the street and his whole family gets slaughtered by some hood that comes in from another neighborhood that moves in that neighborhood, and then they decide to throw barbecues on the day that they killed your brother's family, you're not going to join them in that celebration. You ain't going to go to the barbecue or throw a barbecue on that day. That's the same equivalent to what took place, back in the 1600s when this was going down. So the first scripture I'm going to go into is Colossians 2:8. It says, "Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not of Yahweh Shai." So we're not supposed to take on and follow and worship these traditions of men that the so-called white man has made deemed holidays, for that's supposed to be celebrated here in America or anywhere else across the four corners of the earth. These are philosophies and vain deceit that they put forth because they don't tell you the truth. They don't, when they teach Thanksgiving in the schools, they tell you a portion of what was taking place, but they don't give you the truth and the whole truth of what took place. So we ain't supposed to be following it as Hebrew Israelites. None of these are our traditions. We have high holy days that are throughout the scriptures. You go to Leviticus 23rd chapter. It gives you a list of high holy days that we're supposed to be celebrating, that we're supposed to honor as best we can. We can't keep them and celebrate them all to the full extent here in Babylon because we're in captivity. But those are the days we're supposed to honor, not these pagan holidays that the so-called white man has ruled as a tradition. This is Amos 5:21. It says, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. So all these feast days, that people come together, that's known as national holidays, right? You have You have a lot of them. You have even though you may not throw a feast, but it's still a holiday. You have Halloween. You have Thanksgiving. The next one up is uh, Christmas. Then you have New Year's. You have Valentine's Day and so forth and so on. These are all paganistic holidays that the so-called white man has granted as a holiday for people to celebrate, right? And with these so-called holidays, people do what? They throw feasts. Especially Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's like a ritual. But then you have like our people be having fish fries and gumbo and crawfish boils on New Year's and every other day they cook and eat. The Most High says he hate these feast days. Verse 22. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offering of your fat beasts. Yeah, because on these holidays, especially primarily speaking of today's holiday, which was Thanksgiving, what do they do? They have turkey and ham. The turkey is kosher, but the ham is an abomination. It's abominable. It's swine. It's not to be eaten. When you go into Leviticus the 11th chapter, it gives you the dietary law of what we are to eat and what we are not to eat. And people, they cook this up and they pray over it, and they basically putting forth a meat offering, a burnt offering unto to that day, and then they pray over it before they eat. Verse 23. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, and for I will not hear the melodies of thy vows. But let judgment run down as water, and righteousness as a mighty stream. And 2/3 of our people, you do this. What's the next? What's they sing? Do they play music? They have celebrations. They party during these holidays. Then they have especially when Christmas time comes. You have your Christmas carolers. Your people going out singing and they play these so-called Christmas songs on the even Thanksgiving have their certain songs that they play on the radio, that's geared towards the celebration of those days. The scriptures say, let judgment run down as water for the people who celebrate these things, and let righteousness as a mighty stream. Where the righteousness comes from the 1/3, the hopeful elect. We're the ones that's fighting. That's why we deem ourselves as the hopeful elect, because we're doing what the Most High says to do according to the scriptures. So we're expecting to be part of the elect and be saved. But 2/3 of our people, they take full advantage of the celebration of these wicked days. As Isaiah 1:13, it says, bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moon and Sabbath and calling of assemblies I cannot away with. It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting. So the true, new moon, the Sabbath, and the calling of assemblies and the high holy days, the Most High cannot away with them. And the people who celebrate these holidays, you're an iniquity to the Most High. It says your new moon and your appointed feast, my soul hated. They are troubled unto me. I am weary to bear them. So when you get together and celebrate these holidays, especially a day like Thanksgiving, where the truth of the matter is our people were slaughtered on those days in the mass genocide, the killing of our brethren of the North American, so-called North American Indians and Seminole Indians. They were slaughtered heavily by the millions at this time, and it's been deemed as a so-called holiday to be celebrated. The Most High says soul hates it. And you and people, the traditions of men, you're the one, starting with the so-called white man, you're the one, Esau Edom is your biblical nationality. You Edomites, you so-called white, and I'm not talking about skin color, I'm talking about the spirit of the man. The spirit that's in that so-called white-looking man that goes back to the seed of Edom, Esau, Edom, which is the wicked. Because you have Israelites, they're Israelite foreigners that may look like a so-called white man, but their spirit is you could tell their spirit. They're not like that. You could tell. They go back to one of the 12 tribes. So they're just an Israelite foreigner. But I'm talking about the natural Gentile known as the nation of Edom. You're the one that has pointed these new moon days. The new moon days meaning the Sabbath days that you deemed as what the major day of Sunday, right? Sunday worship. That's why people go to church on Sunday. And they, and then or the 7-day Adventist. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. What the scriptures tell you that the new moon is the when the new moon comes in, that's when the Sabbath is established. So you switch that around, the so-called white man switched that around, and then he appointed feast days for our people to celebrate. And those are trouble to the Most High. He's weary to bear them because they're not according to the truth of the Bible. Verse 15, and when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide my eyes from you. Yea, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood. Because when you celebrate the holiday of Thanksgiving, it's like you put in your hands are full of blood for the celebration of a day that mass slaughter was going on of our people. You're not supposed to. It's like the same analogy I put together and I mentioned earlier was about if your family member down the street got killed by a gang member. And they throw barbecues on that same day that they shot up the block and shot up your family's home? Are you gonna throw a barbecue every day? Deem that day as a barbecue? But see, our people so freaking wicked. They would probably do something like that, like as an honor, like to celebrate, the death of their loved one. When these people celebrating that they killed your family, they celebrating because they killed your family. So when your hands is full of blood, if you take part in that celebration, your hands is full of the blood that was shed, as well as those who shed our people's blood. Verse 16. Wash you, make you clean. Put away the evil of your doings from before mine eyes. Cease to do evil. The Most High said, wash you and make you bear. And how you being able to be washed? You can't say that you don't know the truth, because we've been out there teaching this truth, starting with the apostles and the elders, going back 30 plus years. And it don't stop. It's just been growing it's been growing and growing even to this day. There's more Israelite presence than ever before. Not only just talking about Great Millstone, but all these other Israelite groups out there. So you can't say you don't know about the Israelites. Because whether they teaching the truth in the right way or they teaching, false and wrong things, they still represent the Israelites because they push that we're God's chosen people. We're Israelites. And if you dig deep enough, you can't do any type of Israelite researching without coming across a Great Millstone camp. So the truth is right there and ready and available for you. This is Ezekiel 33 and 30. Also, son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his neighbor, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord. And that word is coming forth from who right now? From the men that the Most High has set forth to go out on the highways and byways and teach the Bible, push this truth. Verse 31, and they came unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. So no matter how much videos we put out every year, it's the same cycle. Each year around these so-called holidays, we put up videos to warn our people that you're not supposed to be celebrating this. This is abomination unto the Most High. This right here angers the Most High. He hates these days. No matter, there's tons of videos out there that brothers put up at the same time during this, because it's the vibration that's going on, because this is the time that they celebrate, or the so-called white man has deemed as the holiday season during this time. So those videos go up to combat that spirit. We put those videos out there. So you see it, and our people see it and they know it, but they will not hearken and do what we tell them or what we're warning them about. They do whatever their heart has desired to do. It says, but they will not do them. For with their mouths they do show much love, but their hearts go after their covetousness. Meaning, a man can know that he ain't supposed to be celebrating this, but the family, we're gonna do this for the kids and the family. Like, that's what they do. They covet this because it's happening all around them. They get into the spirit of the holiday season, which is exactly what it is. It's a spirit that come on these people. People become a little bit more nicer. Somebody might let you come out. You coming out, they might stop and let you go. People be in a better spirit, but the Most High is turning that. He's still in that mirth. These people ain't gonna be able to go to the house of feasting. These people are be catching major hell because financially people are struggling. Like, it's they feeling that squeeze, that tightness, that squeeze, that where things ain't the way it used to be, and then people ain't gonna be able to get their holiday shopping on. I'd be willing to bet top dollar that this year's Black Friday sales will not be like a normal, like it normally would be in years past, because people are struggling financially. Stores aren't replenishing, products and goods. Like, it's not the same. You walk through the stores now, you see bare shelves. You got these, the big thing for this past month or so was about all those containers, all those ships at sea with all those containers with all the products in it. People, it's going to be a dark, cold winter. So back at verse 32, it says, and lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that had a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument. For they hear thy words, but they do them not. They're not going to hearken. So they listen. It sounds good, but they can do what they want to do. Hey, that's the truth. Hey, man, they right. But then they turn around and do what they want to do. They'll turn around and do the opposite of what we telling and instructing them to do. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, meaning the judgment that's going to rain down as water on them for not hearkening, not listening, and celebrating these holidays and everything, and all the wickedness that our people, 2/3 of our people, are committing. That's what's going to come, that judgment. Then shall they know that a prophet had been among them. Then will they know, like, those dudes were prophets. Those men out there was teaching me the truth. Now I got to suffer from all the wickedness I did. So with that, I'm going to bring the video to a close. I'm going to say all praise, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.